And nephews, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, mamas, daddies, abuelos, abuelas. Welcome back. This is Uncle Ro. This one is called the best way to get things done. The best way to get things done. Um, I was watching this video not too long ago, and it was these two little boys. They were playing a game. They had a bucket in front of them. And then lined up behind the bucket was about probably 7 balls spaced out in equal distance, starting at about 1 foot from the bucket and ending at about maybe 15 feet from the bucket or so, 20 feet from the bucket. And I guess the rules or the object of the game was to see who can get all the balls in the bucket first. So basically, you had one boy who started with the ball closest to the bucket. And he grabbed that first ball, dumped it in, then ran out a couple more feet, grabbed the second ball, dumped it in. Well, the other boy on the other side, he started with the ball furthest away from the bucket. Now, for most of the race, it looked like the boy who started with the ball in front of the bucket was going to win. Because, I mean, as the race went on, he had only 2 balls left. And the boy that started the furthest away from the bucket had about 4 balls left. So, but what happened was the boy who started the furthest away from the bucket, by the time he got close to the bucket, I mean, he was going back and forth a matter of a few feet each time, between, 5 to 1 foot, you know what I mean? So he was able to run across, grab one, then run it. He put 2 balls in the bucket by the time the guy ran to the very end of the line to get the second to last ball. So, end up the boy who started the furthest away from the bucket won. And the moral of the story is that if you have a goal, and if you start out doing the most difficult task first, then later on it's kind of like you're coming down the hill, it's coasting. Another way to put it is do the things that you have to do now so that you can do the things you want to do later. So I made a video about procrastination not too long ago. This is along those same lines. And every one of these videos, I don't claim to be perfect. I've just lived a little bit, and that's why I made this channel, so that I could kind of give back to the youth especially. But yeah, I don't claim to be perfect or anything. So these messages are actually for me as well. And I actually put this moral to work not too long ago. And I'll get into that later. I don't want to really divulge that right now, but the thing is, a lot of people, we're a people of gratification, especially the newer generation. We want now. We want it like fast food. Like, we can't even look at a YouTube video for more than a couple of minutes before skipping through and losing interest. So we need to change that. We need to go back to the days of doing the hard things first, so that you can relax later on. And what you'll find is that if you do the hard thing first, then you won't be, what's the word I'm looking for? You won't be pining and worrying about all the work you have to do, because you got to it. You started it and you did the most difficult thing first. I mean, when we were kids, for example, I learned this later on, but I learned that, of course, especially growing up in a black family, I don't know about anybody else's culture, but I imagine it's similar. Whenever something is put on the table to eat, you need to eat all of it. You got to eat all of it. As a matter of fact, my mama would put the Kool-Aid or the drink or whatever that we were drinking with dinner, she put that in the middle of the table and we couldn't even really drink it until we ate our food. So my brother, to this day, my brother does not eat lettuce. He doesn't eat most vegetables. I think he'll eat green beans or something like that. So then my mom had put a salad on the plate one time. My brother was going ham. I mean, just throwing a fit. Like trying to make himself throw up and stuff. And he used to always save the last, the thing that he didn't like the most, or the thing that he hated the most, he would save that for last. And I mean, that's not the way to do it. And I actually learned from watching him. So what I would do is the things that I didn't like there's not many things I don't like, okay? Not many things I don't like. And I'm actually plant-based now. I'm plant-based. I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy. Very little dairy. I mean, if you give me a cupcake and it has an egg cooked in it, I'll probably eat it. But I'm not eating like eggs. I'm not drinking milk. I'm not eating cheese. And I've been this way for about 13, 14 years now, and I've lost probably around 70 pounds just eating right. But I digress. There's not much that I don't like to eat, or I didn't like to eat, but the main thing that I did not like, there were 3 things in particular. I hated peas. I hated peas. Sweet peas, regular peas. I hated peas. I hated yams. Yeah, I know. Yeah, black people. Yeah. I hate yams. I eat them now. I eat some sweet potatoes now. I'll eat yams now, but can't be out of the can. And I hated creamed corn. Creamed corn. Those are the main things that I did not want to eat. And so whenever that was put on my plate, man, I would try to mix it in with stuff, and that wouldn't work. And I mean, we can translate that into trying to get a task done. You can try to mix some of your easy task or your hard tasks in with your easy task, but the best way to do it is just get the hard task out of the way. Get what you have to get done out of the way first, because a lot can get lost, and then you still have the nasty taste of the hard thing kind of sprinkled through your easy thing. So you want to get the hard thing out of the way. So what I learned to do was eat those peas. Just eat them hoes, man. Just eat them. Get them out of the way. Then I would get the most tasty thing on the plate and follow up with that, or chase it with that. And that was the way that I was able to get through eating those meals with some of the things that I didn't like in them. And so translate that into real life. We want to accomplish the hard things for a task first. Now this is conversely, this is opposite of what I was talking about as far as writing your list. I made another video which I'll put a whatchamacallit, I don't know what they call it, a little link probably up there somewhere, with that video talking about setting a list, making a list, the procrastination video. Now with that, you want to put easy things on your list throughout the day, like at the beginning of the day, like make my bed, brush my teeth, shower. Then you want to go into the more difficult things that you might not want to do, work out, handle this business. But within those working outs, and like I said in that video, let's say workout might have 3 different subheadings under it. It might be cardio, then it might be weights, and then it might be stretching, right? So you want those things that you break up. What I'm going to want to do, which this is not a very good example because working out, you need to do certain things in certain orders. But if I was using that as an example, I would probably do the cardio first, and then I go into weightlifting and then stretching. But you want to knock out within those tasks that you're trying to complete. You want to knock out the most difficult thing first. It will give you fuel. You'll have a sense of accomplishment after you complete the hard task, the difficult task. And it's going to give you fuel to just blaze through the rest of the tasks. And I mean, I'm talking to myself. Right now, I am in a position where there are some changes going on in my life. And I'm having to make a difficult decision to, kind of go a different direction in several areas of my life. So with that comes the hard tasks, or some hard tasks. And so what I'm having to do is suck it up and knock it out. Rip the Band-Aid off. Jump in the cold pool. That's the way that you can knock it out. Jumping in the cold pool. You jump in the pool, yeah, the initial shock is like, woo! But after a few seconds, your body gets acclimated to it and you're going. You're in there, right? Same thing with the difficult tasks. Like, we don't want to procrastinate. We want to knock out the hard task first. Jump in the cold pool, get to moving, and then before we know it, we're jumping out and we're going on to the next thing. I think that's big. I think that's the easiest way. It's going to be the best way for us to accomplish our goals. We want to knock out the difficult task first, and then from there, do the easy task. Probably one of the most difficult things to do in building a house, besides like maybe running electrical or something like that, I would believe is the foundation. And ironically, the foundation is is the first thing that you do for a house. And the foundation has to be built strong, has to be done right. So you want to go into that with the most energy, just like the difficult task. You want to go into that with your fresh energy. And then you won't need as much energy for the other things. So, digging a foundation for a house, you gotta go through, if you're gonna do it right, you gotta get soil tests and see what type of soil, whether it's silty or expansive soil or clay. You want to see what you're building on, right? And then from there, you determine what type of foundation you build. So in building that foundation, not only do we have to dig for the foundation, dig for the footings of the foundation, because a house isn't just sitting on a flat slab of concrete. There are there are footings that go down into the ground lower than you think, most of the time, a few feet. And that's what's really holding the foundation, holding the house up all the way around the house. So you have to dig that. Not only do you have to dig that, then you have to bring in some rocks to help with drainage. Then you gotta also do your plumbing in that whole thing. So plumbing is another difficult thing. Sometimes you might have to mix two difficult tasks. You got to bring your plumbing in within that foundation so that when the concrete is poured, everything is lined up. Sometimes you have underground electrical lines you got to bring in. You got to do everything first under the ground, get it right. Then you pour your concrete, right? And so after you pour your concrete, then the easy stuff comes, the framing. Framing is easy. You putting your wall together on the ground, tilting it up with a couple of people, nailing it into place, and then from there, things get pretty much easier as it goes along. So, but within each of those tasks, you have several tasks within each of those tasks that you might have to exercise knocking out the most difficult thing first. So that's my advice for today, guys. Don't procrastinate. Do the hard task first. Do what you have to do now so that you can do what you want to do later. Kids, get out of school. You got chores to do. Knock your chores out, man. Y'all don't know how easy y'all got it. Knock your chores out. Do your chores. Take the trash out or bring the trash can in. Feed the dog. Clean the kitchen. This is easy stuff. Knock that stuff out. And you'll be so happy that you've knocked it out and you're not worried about it. It's not hanging over your head for the rest of the evening. Knock that stuff out. Do your homework, and then you can chill out. You can do whatever you want to do. Play the game, chill, whatever you want to do. But knock that stuff out. Not only will you be happy that you've accomplished that and you can move forward with the easier stuff or with the more fun stuff, but the people around you, your parents, are going to see that and they're going to be like, wow, Junior took initiative. That boy, all right, And then, that'll just add to your life. Your parents will expect more from you, Your parents will have more respect for you, And people around you, not a kid, in any walk of life, any age, any demographic, the people around you, when they see you handling business, they're going to respect that. They're going to respect that. So you do what you have to do first. I'm at the end of my day, and look where I am. I'm chilling in the playground. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that fitting? Like, I'm waiting for my coworker, but I finished my work for today. And I am chilling in this playground waiting for my coworker to finish his. But I'm chilling because I did what I had to do. I did what I had to do first. Yeah, I think that's enough for today. Do what you have to do now so that you can do what you want to do later. This is Uncle Ro, y'all. Deuces.